Hello and welcome to today's podcast with me, Sophie Oak, degree apprentice at the Automotive 30% Club, and today's guest, Kate Muir, who is coming to the end of her work experience week with us. So good afternoon, Kate. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So just to give our listeners some insight into why you're speaking with me today, you've been on a work placement with us virtually at the Automotive 30% Club this week. So could you tell our listeners a little more about yourself just before we get started?
Yeah, well, I'm a 17-year-old student that's going into year 13 next year, and I study art, drama, politics, and philosophy. But I'm also very interested in feminism and other activism concerning civil rights and things like that.
Yeah, it's great to hear that some of your interests align with the work that we obviously do at the club. So it's been a pleasure working alongside you this week, and as a degree apprentice myself, I feel that your time within the organisation has contributed towards my personal development, and it's allowed me to reflect on my own performance and how I can help you. So what is it that you've enjoyed most about working within the club?
Well, I already really like what the 30% Club is all about, with aiming to have more diverse women be in the workforce. But I think as a whole, probably focusing on the article was my favourite thing because of my interest in journalism. But I think just even having the opportunity to work with the company has been a great experience in itself.
Fab. And you have produced some great work this week, so it's clear to see that obviously you're passionate with what you're writing about. But obviously with any new opportunity there are always challenges along the way. What do you think you found most challenging throughout the week?
I think learning to ask questions and kind of overcome the embarrassment of not getting everything right first time, especially because now I'm in sixth form, I'm kind of used to how school works, but work is so different to the way school works. So it's kind of that learning to kind of be able to start from the bottom again was definitely the thing that I found the most difficult.
Yeah, we spoke earlier, didn't we, about the fact that you sort of top dog and then you come back and sort of be the small fish in a big pond. So how exactly did you overcome the challenges that you faced this week?
Well, I think talking to you definitely helped me a lot, because you said that when you first started, you were pretty helpless in the situation. And I think that definitely put into perspective, because seeing how you work now, I would have thought, oh, very professional, very good. But I guess it's that thing of everyone has to start somewhere.
Of course, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I think personally, I think from my perspective, a lot of the time it's the smaller things that often get overlooked in the early stages. So things like sounding professional on an email, or answering the phone in the correct manner, anything like that is sort of overlooked in the early stages. So moving on from that point, obviously you have overcome challenges throughout this week, and why would you encourage other young people to trial a work experience week like this?
Well, again, coming back to what we've kind of just said, that kind of learning to be able to know that you start from the bottom kind of thing, it gives you perspective as to how it actually starts out and how work differs so much from school. You kind of prepare yourself for what the experience will actually be like. So I would definitely recommend doing work experience for young people, because it just gives you that insight that you wouldn't otherwise have.
Yeah, and I suppose you're sort of almost slightly less nervous when it comes to the time of entering the working world.
You also learn such great communication skills as well.
Yeah, and different ways
that you wouldn't. Yeah, exactly.
I think especially obviously at the minute with the whole pandemic, you'd never have really done a virtual meeting at all, and now you've had a whole week of meetings virtually. So again, that's another thing that you can just obviously take into whatever career it is that you decide to pursue. So of course, Julia Muir, founder of the Automotive 30% Club and better known to you as mum, she's an inspiration to me as a young female who sort of entered this organisation only a few years ago. And I believe that the work that she does within the industry is detrimental to achieving equality within the sector. So who would you say inspires you and why?
I would probably say my mum as well, but for a very different reason. She was, to me, the person who kind of made me aware of like the small parts of sexism that still exist, and that, you know, how gender equality is so important, and yet although we think we may have achieved it, it's actually so far out of our reach. And she hasn't made me the feminist I am today, but she's definitely helped me go off and like educate myself. So I have to say, if I had to like pin down one person that, you know, helped me the most, I would definitely have to say my mom.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be very happy to hear that. And it's obviously clear to see that it's also a passion of yours. So finally, just to end today's podcast, why do you think it's important to have more young women join the sector?
Well, I think with the automotive sector, and any other STEM-based workplaces, a lot of young girls will look at those kind of lines of work and think, well, that's a man's job, because of the fact it's just got so many male employees and male bosses. Like they'll never see, it's very rare to see a female boss at the top of a STEM workplace. So I think just having diverse women as well represent these companies, it definitely just kind of makes something open in like young girls and teenage girls' minds as to think, oh, well, that's actually a path I can now take, rather than them immediately labeling that off as, well, that's what boys do. I need to find something else.
Something that they sort of see as a viable option for them, I suppose.
Yeah,
fab. So thank you for chatting with me today, Kate. It's been great working with you this week. I wish you all the best for your future. And I hope that we've helped to inspire and inform some of our listeners about the importance of work experience weeks and the benefits that we've both encountered from doing so. So thanks for being here and thanks for listening.